For most of my life, I felt like I was walking around with a mask glued to my face. Not a physical mask, of course, but one made of expectations, habits, and carefully chosen expressions. I smiled when people expected me to smile, laughed at the right moments, spoke in a voice that felt foreign to my own heart. To the world, I was ordinary. To my friends, I was reliable. To my family, I was the version of me they thought they knew. But beneath it all, I was hiding. Every morning when I dressed, I felt like I was putting on armor for a battle no one else could see. And the weight of that mask grew heavier with each passing day. It started small, like a whisper I tried to ignore. I would notice the way a dress moved on someone walking down the street, or the way confidence radiated from a woman who seemed completely at ease in herself. I told myself it was nothing. Just admiration. Just observation. But the whisper grew louder. I found myself lingering in clothing stores longer than I should, running my hand along fabrics I wasn't supposed to want, imagining what it might feel like to wear them. Each time, my heart raced with both excitement and guilt. I couldn't admit it to anyone, not even to myself fully, so I locked it away, behind the same mask I showed the world. One evening, when the house was quiet and the shadows stretched long, I stood in front of my mirror with something I had never dared to try before. A blouse I had hidden away, delicate and soft, something that belonged to the secret part of me I never let see the light. My hands trembled as I slipped it on, and the moment the fabric touched my skin, I felt something inside me crack open. My reflection didn't match the mask anymore. For the first time, I wasn't pretending to be who others expected. I was catching a glimpse of who I might truly be. It was terrifying and exhilarating all at once. After that night, the mask grew even heavier. By day, I played my role perfectly, no one suspecting that anything had changed. But at night, when I was alone, I would open the box I had hidden in the back of my closet. Inside were pieces of a life I was too afraid to live openly: skirts, scarves, a wig that I brushed carefully, little trinkets that made me feel alive. When I put them on, I felt free, like breathing after holding my breath too long. But the moment I changed back, the guilt returned. Who was I becoming? Was I lying to everyone I loved? Or was I finally telling myself the truth? The hardest part wasn't the clothes, the hair, or even the reflection in the mirror. The hardest part was the fear. Every sound in the house made my heart leap. Every car door outside sent a wave of panic through me. What if someone discovered my secret? What would they say? Would they still see me as me? Or would everything I built crumble in an instant? I felt like I was living in a constant state of suspense, balancing on a tightrope where one wrong move would reveal everything. And yet, even with the fear, I couldn't stop. Because the mask I wore by day had become unbearable. There were moments, fleeting but unforgettable, when the mask slipped and I felt truly alive. One evening I dared to step outside into the backyard, the cool night air brushing against my skin as I stood there in a dress. The world was dark, but the stars above felt like spotlights. I closed my eyes and for just a minute, I imagined what it would be like to walk down a street, not as the person I pretended to be, but as the one I longed to become. My heart raced with both terror and joy, and I knew then that this wasn't a phase, wasn't a game. It was me. But every high was followed by a crushing low. I would sit on the edge of my bed afterward, staring at the folded clothes in my hands, asking myself why I couldn't just be normal. Why I couldn't silence the voice inside that begged me to live differently. I fought with myself, bargaining, promising to stop, swearing I would put it all away for good. But no matter how hard I tried, the mask no longer fit. The more I resisted, the more the truth pulled at me. And deep down, I began to realize the truth I feared most. This wasn't something I could erase. The day finally came when I could no longer pretend. I looked in the mirror at the mask I had worn all my life, and for the first time I saw how broken it was. I wasn't just hiding from others, I was hiding from myself. And I couldn't do it anymore. My hands shook as I reached for the box in my closet, this time not with guilt, but with determination. I put on the clothes, the wig, the accessories, And when I looked at my reflection, I didn't see shame. I saw possibility. I saw hope. I saw me. That night, as I sat there staring at my reflection, I made a choice. I didn't know what the future would hold or how much courage it would take, but I knew I couldn't live the rest of my life hidden behind a mask. I wanted more. I deserved more. And though the path ahead was uncertain, one thing was finally clear. The mask was no longer mine to wear. I went to bed that night feeling something I hadn't felt in years: peace. Not because all my problems were solved, but because for once I was honest with myself. The mask might still be there in the eyes of the world, but inside, I had begun to set it down. And as I drifted into sleep, I whispered to myself a promise I intended to keep. I would no longer live a life hidden behind a mask. I would live a life where I could finally breathe, finally be, finally exist as me.